I'm keeping my fingers crossed that this is the last snow of the season. This past week it was like in the 50s, and today it's back down in the 20s and snow. And I think we're supposed to be cold again tomorrow. And then next week, whoosh, temperatures go up and continue to go up, and within a couple weeks we should be in the 60s. So spring is on the way, and I'm eager for it, I'm telling you. Yeah, I got a new hoodie. BSI Well Service. My nephew runs a large salt brine service, and I think it's down West Virginia. But he was up for my uncle's funeral. You know, my uncle had passed away just a day after his birthday. So we had the funeral, and my uncle or my nephew brought the sweatshirt for me. A nice gift, and I appreciate it. And I love my hoodies, man. I never wore hoodies before, but they're so cozy and comfortable in this colder weather. Yeah, it's nice. Yeah, still having to keep a fire going, keep it cozy in here, and it's very comfortable. So as I was saying, you know, we had the funeral, and then after the funeral, there was some confusion. I was going to prepare a meal here for my kids, but they all kind of bailed at the last minute. They all had other things they had to do, so that didn't pan out. And then I was invited to go out to eat with my brother, but that was kind of out of the way for me, the opposite direction of where I was traveling. So my aunt grabbed a hold of me at the last minute and said, "Oh, by the way, the family is having a meal in the basement of the Methodist Church if you want to join us." So I thought, well, you know what? I can go out to lunch with my brother anytime, but it's rare that, you know, I get to spend time with my aunt and her whole family, my cousins and everything that were in town. So I thought, I'm going to go there. So I went over to Wellington, Ohio, and we had a nice lunch with some chicken and other things in the basement there. But the thing I was going to talk about, you know, and you're in the hall there, and there was probably about 30 people in there, and so there's kind of that echo, and some people are talking to me, but I can't hear what they're saying. You know, I've got some hearing impairment over the years. I damaged my ears from the time I was a kid, and just had no realization of the effects it would have on me later in life. But I'm sitting there, and my nephew's wife is talking to me, and you know, all I could hear was, like, you know, her little choppy, and I couldn't understand one thing she was saying, and I kept like leaning in, and I kept saying, "What? You know what?" And I'm thinking, well, is she going to get the hint that I can't hear her, that she needs to speak up a little bit? But she really didn't, and so it was kind of almost, I don't know how it's all. You just have to, like, eventually walk away, because it's like I can't understand one word. You're not one thing you're trying to say to me, and you know, it's my situation that I can't help. It is what it is. For the most part, I was able to hear what everybody else said. But a lot of times, you know, people will be talking to me, and I'll just kind of like, yeah, yeah, yeah. I nod my head in agreement, but I don't really know entirely what they just said. You know, I kind of know the gist of what they're talking about, but maybe I didn't catch the last thing they said. I mean, they might have said, you know, "You're a real dork," and I'd be like, yeah, 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 I I know. Yeah. Because I couldn't hear what they said. Yeah, I know it started out early in my teen years because I had this really nice Panasonic stereo system with some big Fisher speakers, and I used to crank that thing up and playing the Led Zeppelin and the Black Sabbath and all of the rock music, David Bowie and Ziggy Stardust, all of those old classics going back to the 70s. And I had a pretty good record collection, and boy, I would crank that thing up, and sometimes I would put my head right up to the speaker because it was just like almost like a high you get from the music. And I can't believe that I did that, but I did, and with no regard to that it was damaging my hearing at the time. And of course, with that, my buddies and we would always go to the rock concerts. I did see the Led Zeppelin at the Richfield Coliseum, which is no longer there. They tore it down, leveled it. But that concert was something else because during that concert, it was a sold-out show. And there was a lot of people that showed up there that didn't have tickets and they couldn't get in. So there was kind of a riot out in the parking lot, and there was a construction site nearby. They went over there and they got bricks and cement blocks, and they smashed them through the windows of the Coliseum, and they came in. They rioted and came right into the concert. Well, it was more than the local police could handle, and they just kind of let it be, let it go. I don't know if there was any arrests made. I'm sure there might have been. But I was inside. I had paid for my ticket, and I remember after the concert walking down the hallway and just bricks and broken glass everywhere, and there was some police just kind of standing there, not really doing a whole lot. The damage was already done. Over the years, though, due to political reasons, I mean, a perfectly good structure, they tore that Coliseum down. There was a lot of events there, concerts and sporting events and whatnot, but you wouldn't even know it's there now. It's part of up in the Cuyahoga Valley National Park area, and if you look where it used to be, you have no idea that was once a huge concert area venue with a great big parking lot and this great big building, that had all the concerts and entertainment in there. You'd never know it today. But anyway, back to the hearing thing. Then I worked for the park system, so I was doing a variety of jobs. I remember running this old chainsaw that pretty much had straight pipe on it, and I mean, it was so loud, and a two-cycle chainsaw, it really can scream. And I remember after running that chainsaw all day, laying in bed and hearing my ears ring, and I could still hear that chainsaw ringing in my ears. That and many, many, many days of sitting on a tractor with a brush hog mowing with no hearing protection. Because back in the early 70s, I don't even know if OSHA existed at that time, and it certainly didn't play any role in my employment because we weren't offered any safety equipment at all, nor were we even encouraged to use safety equipment. So it was a few years later that a couple of guys in the union decided to cry out and say, we need some safety equipment, and being that you are employing us and having us do these jobs, you should supply the equipment for us. If we're out running a chainsaw, you should supply us with a hard hat, and the headphones and the safety chaps, and all. And my employer just got pretty cranky about it, and he bought everybody these cheap hard hats, and then he said, you wanted safety equipment, you're going to wear that hard hat all the time. And if I catch anybody that's not wearing one, you're going to get disciplined. So I had to wear a hard hat while I was mowing, and I don't know how many times a branch knocked my hard hat off, and it got chopped up in the mower, and I had to go back in and beg for a new one. I mean, at that time, I think my boss even said, just put some duct tape on it, and it'll be fine. So, yeah, that was the safety standards that we had back then. But as time went on, they were pretty good about supplying us with headphones or the foam earplugs, the safety glasses, a hard hat. But it still didn't help my hearing any because all of that added up through the years. Now I have, I believe it's called tinnitus. There's a ringing in my ears. It's like always there. My brain can kind of tune it out. For the most part, I don't even, if I don't think about it, I don't hear it. But if I stop and think about it, like right now, I can hear this whistling in my head, you know, this high pitched, and it actually cuts out all of the like high pitched tones. When Val and I would go on a hike, she would say, "Oh, listen, you can hear the spring peepers." And I'm like, spring peepers? I mean, you know, they're the little tiny frogs in the spring that come out and they burp, 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 burp. And I don't hear any spring peepers. She said, "Well, they're right here. You can hear them plain as day." I said, "I can't hear them at all." And the same goes for sometimes she'd say, "Oh, do you hear that bird? What's that bird?" And I'd be like, "What bird? I don't hear a bird." "You don't hear that?" "No, I don't. I'm sorry, but I don't hear it." And you know, she always told me, she said, "You should get a hearing aid. You know, you need hearing aids. You know, you can't hear a lot. You're always telling me what. And I said, "Well, yeah, I can't help it because, you know, I got this ringing in my ears." And she said, "Well, you should go get hearing aids." Well, my brother, he has hearing aids. He's completely deaf in one ear, and he has limited hearing in the other ear. So he's got hearing, and he paid for these really expensive hearing aids. And when I listen to his stories, you know, it's like, "Oh, I forgot to put him on the charger last night, so I got to have him on the charger now." I mean, he came over and spent a weekend with me, and he'd be sitting on the couch, and I'd be talking to him for about 10 minutes, and he just kind of was sitting there looking at me, and he didn't reply, you know. And then all of a sudden he gets up and goes, "Oh, I got to go put my hearing aids in. I can't hear anything." You just sat there for 10 minutes listening to me, and you didn't even say anything that you couldn't hear a word I was saying. So he goes and he gets his hearing aids and puts them in. And then he said, you know, he has to take them in occasionally and get them adjusted, and every so many months he has to go in and do this and do that and get new batteries for them. And I thought, man, that's just one pain in the neck I don't need. I mean, I can hear enough to get by every day. I do just fine. But would hearing aids help? They might, but I don't know. I think it would be a weird thing to get used to, you know, plugging something into my ears. And then for me, it would irritate my ears to have something in there that long. And I just can't pull the trigger on that. And I won't unless I go completely deaf where I can't hear anybody anymore, you know, and that becomes a problem or a handicap. Yeah, then I probably would get hearing aids. The same goes for glasses. I mean, I've had my eyes tested more than once, and glasses do help me, but I have astigmatism that they can't really fix. I went in to get LASIK surgery the one time, and after they did all the testing and everything, they said, LASIK is not going to help you at all. We're not even going to do it because of your astigmatism. and it's something that we just can't fix. So the only thing you can do is get a pair of glasses that'll help. So the glasses do help me for seeing things in a distance, making things sharper. Like when I'm driving, if I'm wearing my glasses, I can read street signs way farther ahead than if I don't have them on. But I can still read the street signs without my glasses. They help a lot at night because the glasses, the prescription glasses that I have, cut the glare from traffic and sharpen the images, so it's easier for me to drive at night. But I usually don't wear them because, to me, they're kind of annoying. They almost kind of make me dizzy sometimes, and I can't see anything up close with them. So I'm always having to take them off to read something up close. Now I know what you're saying. Oh, you can get bifocals where you look at the lower part and you can read, and then you look at. And I think Val actually had the trifocal things, like broken into 3 sections where she could look down and read, look through the middle, and kind of look up a little higher. And I don't know how those work, but and I do use sunglasses, and of course, I wear sunglasses when I'm riding on the bike, and that doesn't bother me too much. But the regular prescription glasses, I tend not to wear them very much, just because they're almost like interfere with my vision, like it's either one or the other. Like, yeah, if I put my prescription glasses on, I can see, a flea on the leaf on the other side of the pond, but I can't see my hand in front of my face. It's just a big blur. So I'm always, putting them on and off, and I just soon not wear them. Then I don't want to carry them with me because it's just something else I got to carry in my pocket, and they get broken or they get lost or you leave them somewhere. It's a pain in the neck that I'd rather not deal with. I can live fine without them, so I'll just continue to do that. I'm looking out the window at the snow. Some of it's coming down and some of it's going up, like a snow globe, where it swirls around and goes different directions. It was supposed to stop snowing an hour ago, but it's still like a very light, fluffy snow that's just floating down real slow. We're not getting any accumulation, which is fine by me, but I'll be glad when it's done. I went bowling again yesterday with the people from my past cancer support group that I went to. And there was 2 ladies and another guy, and the 4 of us went bowling. And I don't bowl very much at all. I think the last time I went bowling was last fall, but prior to that, it had been years. So, I was a little worried about going bowling yesterday. I thought, boy, I'm going to be terrible at this. I'm going to be embarrassed. But it turned out okay, actually. I was bowling with the one guy. We had 2 lanes. So me and this other guy took a lane, and the 2 girls took the other lane, because the 2 girls were really bad at it, and I wasn't that good at it. And the guy I was bowling with was a pro. So, I mean, he's bowling like 160 or something like that. And I was lucky to get just over 100 on my score. I think the whole time we bowled, I only got 2 strikes and 1 spare. But a lot of my rolls, I only had 1 pin in left. So that was my saving grace. It kept my score up a little higher. I just couldn't nail those strikes down, though. I need a lot more practice if I'm going to be into bowling, but I don't see that happening. But anyway, I had a 14-pound ball, and just in the way you throw that thing and swinging the weight of it, I twisted my back again, and now my back's killing me. It always bothered me when I did construction work, and you had to pick up these big, like, 16-foot 2x8s or 2x10s, that are, especially treated lumber that has a little more weight to it, and when you go to turn, you really have to swing that, and it puts a lot of pressure on your spine. And I'd always come home limping, my back just killing me, from that twisting, carrying that heavy lumber. Well, I haven't had much of a problem with my back since I retired, but every once in a while, if I mess up and do something the wrong way, it pinches a nerve or something, and man, it's excruciating. Well, somehow yesterday, just throwing that bowling ball, just the twist and the weight of it twisted something in my spine, and now I have back pain again. So I suppose that'll hang on for a week or two. I'll just have to be limping around, which comes with age, I guess. I mean, the body tends to break down. Somebody asked me the other day, what's the scar on your left hand? And I got a lot of scars, a lot of them. And I can't even remember what a lot of them are for, but I think what he's referring to on my hands, I have eczema. And so I have patches where my skin just kind of like dries out and gets like almost like a scab, and it's just really annoying, and it itches a lot, and I do have medication that I use. It's like every day something else breaks out on my body, and I have to put the medicated cream on there to kind of calm down the rash. It's almost like having poison ivy 24/7 that I'm always having to treat. So yeah, that's probably what he was looking at on my hand. Not a scar, it's just an eczema breakout that I have there that I can't seem to get rid of. I do have to see the dermatologist about every 6 months. And back in 1998, after they removed my colon, they took my entire colon out. And the colon is the organ of the body. It's a pretty big organ. They said it was 13 pounds, as I remember. When they take out the colon is a big organ that draws a lot of moisture out of the food you eat. And so with the colon gone, the skin tends to dry out a lot faster than for somebody that has a colon. So after I had my surgery and had to have my colon removed because of cancer, I started having eczema problems, and I've had them ever since. Pretty controlled. I mean, I know a lot of people have it a lot worse than me. I was talking to my brother yesterday, and I didn't realize it, he's got arthritis real bad in his fingers. He said by the end of the day, he can't even hardly use his hands because they hurt so bad. I couldn't imagine having that kind of problem. Now, he's 2 years younger than me. I don't have that problem at all. I mean, I don't have any arthritis at all. Well, maybe in my shoulder, because this shoulder hurts a lot and it's really stiff. I did have rotator cuff surgery on this shoulder, and it's fine. It's like brand new. It doesn't even bother me anymore. But this one, it really gets to aching, and especially in when there's a weather change or something like that. So yeah, again, just some part of getting old. Anyway, I think I've said enough for today. I appreciate your support and your comments. You guys have been pretty good to me, and I appreciate that. My prayers continue to go out for you guys. I do read all your comments. I do know all of your requests, and I will pray for you. And I certainly appreciate the prayers too, because Lord knows I need them. Life's not easy for any of us, and it's certainly a struggle for me, I know, and I think you guys can speak the same. So, anyway, thanks for watching. If you liked my video, take a minute there and just click on that like button. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to my channel. and continue to join us in this day-to-day adventure in life. Till next time, cats, I'll catch y'all later.